Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, my name is MrBigmick, and I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to talk about Guild Wars 2, and many of the various things that I've seen within the game, and I've seen in information. As I said before in my last video, I will be doing a Guild Wars 2 Let's Play. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world for me to do, but I will find a way to get a Let's Play. Have no worry about that. Now, when I was playing Guild Wars 2 back at Comic-Con and I got to speak with one of the devs, there were many mechanics within the game that are well worth mentioning, which the dev took time to mention to me. Now, first of all is the combat system. The Guild Wars 2 combat system relies on two basic sets of action bars. One is specific to the weapon you are carrying and the class you are, meaning if two classes have the same weapon, two different classes have the same weapon, they're not going to have the same skill set. However, they will have a similar skill set. And if the same class has maybe 6 or 7 different weapon loadouts, which it is encouraged to carry a large amount of weapons, then you can switch between them freely and use them to access various abilities that you have. Now, this gives you more versatility, which is the name of the game in Guild Wars 2. I'll get to that more later. And the other set of action bars is based on your class, or profession, as they call it in Guild Wars 2. Still getting used to the terminology. Now, I played a elemental who was more reliant on fire, and I played an engineer who was big on turrets, and that was fun. The char engineer, or the char elemental, first had dash abilities, had fire breath, had giant claw, projectile things. I don't know what to call them, but they were amazing. The combat itself felt visceral. It felt when you were a giant cat guy and you swing your claws and giant fire claws shoot out of your hand and into an enemy's chest, you feel like you just did something epic, because you did. When you throw down a turret and all of a sudden a machine gun pops up and starts laying into someone, while you pull out a flamethrower and just cover him and just bathe him in flames, you feel pretty cool about yourself. Now, when I said versatility, not only is it encouraged to bring various weapons and such into a battle situation, but Guild Wars 2 has been doing its best to destroy the Holy Trinity: the tank, healer, DPS. Everybody can tank, everybody can heal, everybody can DPS. Every class has at least one heal, which you can put on yourself or you can put on others. Meaning if the healer, quote unquote, is doing his job poorly, you can step in and help. If the tank is getting overwhelmed, somebody else can tank for him. And so on and so forth. There is no designated role. You are every role in one. Now, the way they do this is, like I said, they give everybody tanking skills, everybody healing skills, and everybody damage dealing skills. Meaning you can technically have a group of tanks and a group of healers. Nothing but. And everybody can do damage. This is something else. This is something that is very it's ingenious in its own way. And it's interesting. When I played it, I could heal myself if I was low on health. I could heal a downed guard, which I will get more to later. I could heal another player. And the interactivity that takes in place between players is something that's amazing. In my elemental, if I covered an area in fire, a ranger could shoot arrows through the fire and have flaming arrows. Or it encourages people to work together while they're in zones. You know, if I want to go kill those monsters over there and he's going to kill monsters nearby, we could combine our efforts in a way. And through combining our efforts, our own spells and our own abilities become ramped up. And it gives us almost a cooperation bonus. It doesn't just mean go out and lone wolf an area. That's not encouraged. That's not recommended. So they put in a more dynamic combat system that enables you to just, okay, that guy's got a firewall. I'm going to cover my sword in flames, get a buff, and go kill those guys. Thank you, Mr. Firewall Guy. If you need help, I'll jump in with my giant flaming sword and help you kill people. Just give me a holler. That's cool. I love that. It means people are more likely to step in and say, talk to each other. As it's fairly encouraged in an MMO to speak to other players of the MMO. We're not all closet shut-in guys. Basement shut-ins. Yes, let's go with that. Now, the dynamicness of the game, that's a good word, isn't just reliant to the combat. It's also reliant to the actual world itself. Should a village be under attack, you have to defend the village. There is no static battle scene as far as I know. Villages can and will fall. If you don't defend them, you have to retake them later. It is of a benefit to everybody to try and keep these villages up. When I was playing, there was a village under attack by some Minotaur guys and one giant pissed off monster who was killing guards like crazy. You can contribute to the battle by A. If you prefer healing, you could run around and heal guards. When they die, you could run over, revive them, and get them back into the fight. You could have it so the guards completely defend it with your support, all the while tossing in the occasional attack to the bad guy to make sure he downs quicker. And it was amazing. I teamed up with, I think, a Necro, 2 Rangers, and a Guardian, I believe it was. And we managed to fight off the invasion. This was when I was on my engineer, which made for some interesting things, because the Necro's minions plus my turrets. That was fun. And I love the non-static nature. Things aren't going to stay the same. And there's parallels I see to Blizzard, to WoW. You know what they did to make things not static? They invented phasing, which is basically changing things on an engine that's 7 years old. You know what they did to make the world less of the same? They released an expansion. You know what Guild Wars does to make the world less of the same? Actually has villages be attacked and fall. That's cool. Now, just the out-of-world combat, what it does is it sends you along your way, and there's no real quest thing. It's more of a, as you go, these are goals that you see. And you can do the goals, and the further you progress along the goals, the further the world changes with. Meaning if you show up to a town that is just recovering from an attack, you have to help resupply the guards, gather up a bunch of resources, and forge them into weapons and armor. You have to go around and gather some stuff so the guards have, or there's arrows and such. It's basically, if a village is under attack, you push the enemy back, and that helps give you experience. This is if I remember correctly, and obviously this might not all be final. And if you're pushing the enemy back, you have to maybe fortify your position, or go out and kill kill them, and revive guards and stuff. And they're dynamic world objectives that are like quests, but they're not quite. And I love the way the game goes. Now, in combat, when you get knocked down, you go into a down state. Now, this gives you some options. Certain classes, like Rangers, can have their pet revive them. Meaning a Ranger in PvP, and yes, there is PvP, is one hard son of a bitch to kill. You have to keep on him, otherwise that pet will bring him back, and he will keep shooting you, which is funny. You thought hunters were bad. Rangers are worse. They have self-res, bitch. But you go into a down state, and if you kill your enemy in a down state, you become revived. If an ally walks over and revives you, you are revived. But you can keep attacking your enemy while you are downed, and your enemy can attack you. I believe it's after a certain amount of time. If you're not revived, you die, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. But I know for a fact that if the enemy dies while you were down, you become back up. Now, in dungeons, and yes, there will be dungeons, you could technically have half a group of downed people and still beat the boss. At that point, it's probably best, if you can, to have someone run around reviving people. That's actually probably very, very, very helpful. And it lays into the less mundane way, the less cut and dry way that WoW is. WoW is, this is a healer, this is a tank, this is a DPS. Not everybody can battle res, and in order to prevent people from stacking 25 druids in a raid, they limit the amount of battle reses. Whereas in this game, if you're down, you're not necessarily out. You can get back into the fight. Hell, while you're down, you can do some pretty good DPS. There's no reason for that not to be the case. And I absolutely love this. And it's got me excited. I'm a guy who's been playing WoW for a great number of years. Like I said a couple of times, I started playing WoW back in Burning Crusade, which was, as the hardcore raiders say, the golden pinnacle of raiding. And I'm going to be playing Guild Wars 2. Whether or not it will replace WoW for me is yet to be seen, but I will be playing Guild Wars 2. If there is an open beta and I can get in and fraps things, that would be absolutely freaking amazing for you guys and for me. But what can I say? I'm not very popular. Anyway, I want you guys to leave in the comment section below what you are looking forward to most about Guild Wars 2, other than the actual game being released. Because, I mean, that's cool and all, but there's got to be something in particular. Personally, I'm looking forward to playing my Char, which will be amazing. And I want you guys to go ahead and leave that comment. Thumbs up, subscribe. Thumbs up, down, don't subscribe. I don't really care. Free country. Do what you will. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, my name is MrBigmick. Good hunting.